Hi everyone, welcome back, and here is our video on correlation. So remember that correlation is given by the letter R, and it's represented by the sum 1 over n minus 1 times the sum of x minus x bar over the standard deviation for x times y minus y bar all over the standard deviation for y. So again, let's define our terms. So R is correlation. N is the number of data points, or number of individuals. X bar is the average mean for x. Sx is the standard deviation for x. Y bar is the mean for y values. And Sy is the standard deviation for y. Alright, so that's what all the different notations mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our calculators to help us do a hand calculation of this. Again, this is one of the things we'll do once in the course, and then afterwards we'll actually let the computer just generate the number for us without any additional work. So to do this, we're going to have to go into our stat editor, like we did with standard deviation. And so, basically, what we're going to have is that our x values, these are going to be our L1s, and these are going to be our L2s. L3 is going to be our x minus x bar over Sx. Our L3 is going to be our x, or excuse me, not x, y minus y bar over Sy. That's right, L4, not L3. Then L5 is just going to be the product of L3 times L4, because that's exactly what we're doing right here. This is the L3 part, this is the L4 part, and we're multiplying them together. And then we'll use the calculator to add up everything in L5 up, like we did with the standard deviation before. So let's get to the calculator part of this. So notice here I've already entered the data, so you may just want to pause the video and enter everything in. And so we need to know two things. We need to know four things. We need to know x bar, sx, y bar, and sy. And we can calculate this for L1 and L2 separately, but notice that the lists are the same length here. So if we go to stat, which is just highlighted in red on the keyboard, hit right once, and go down to two variable stats, we'll actually calculate all those values at the same time. So when you hit enter, it's going to ask for X list and Y list. My X list is set incorrectly, so I'll hit second one, make that the L1 list. Y2, or the Y list is L2, which is correct. And then we just go down to calculate, hit enter. And so notice this brings up a new screen. And notice that right now, all I can really see are the X values. So I'll have X bar is 5. So we'll go over to our screen here. Maybe we'll write down X bar equals 5. We will also want that Sx is 1.58, so we'll do that as well. Sx is equal to 1.58. And then most of you, my screen's big enough, but most of you, you're going to have to scroll down to see the y value, so you hit the down key until you see y and y bar. So notice in our case, y bar is 12.6. And we have the Sy is 2.96, so right here. Alright, so these are the values we're going to have to use in these formulas right here. So that remember that x is really L1, so this is the formula we'll want to type in. Y is really L2 on the calculator, so that's the value we're going to type in. So if we go back to our calculator and hit stat again, and hit edit again, This time we're first going to calculate the z values for x. So remember to highlight the L3 header, not the first dash bar, but the header itself, and hit enter. Then we're going to type in parentheses L1 minus 5, that's our x bar, divided by, this is where you write it down, 1.58. And that'll calculate all the z values for the x's. And then we'll do the same thing. So remember that whenever you hit right, you'll always end up on the dash line, so you must hit up once. To get back to L4, hit enter to enter the formula, and this will be we're going to put a bracket in first, then L2 minus 12.6 divided by 2.96. And there are all the z-scores for the y values. And so L5, so hit right to get to there, and then hit up once to get to the formula. It's going to be L3, so second 3, times L4, so second 4. And so what we want is the sum of all the values in L5, because that will give us the sum of all the products. This is small enough we can actually just write this down and do it by hand, but usually you'd have larger lists. So you can go to stat, hit right, and go to one variable stat. And this time we want list 5, because that was the last thing we calculated. Enter, enter, enter. And our sum is just going to be the sum x here, so this is going to be 3.63. So we'll record that. So this is going to be approximately equal to 1 over n minus 1 times 3.63. And so the question is, what is n minus 1? Well, n minus 1 is, n is equal to 5, since if you come back over here, there's 5 data points right there. And so this is equal to 1 over 4 times 3.63. And you run this through your calculator. So I will do that. So you can just hit clear. 3.63 divided by 4. And we get 0.9075. So R is approximately that value. Alright, that's it for our video. We'll see you in class.